Hi folks, welcome back to Stacey Can. Today I am dehydrating pumpkin seeds. 'Tis the season, it is fall. While I go over all of this information, you can kind of follow along in the show notes down below and hit like and subscribe down there while you're at it, because that does help. Ingredients that you need is pumpkin seeds. So this is a great activity to do after you've carved your pumpkins, if that's what you choose to do for the holidays. Or if you're just making pumpkin soup and you want to do something different with pumpkin seeds. A lot of people just automatically roast them from scooping them out and setting them on a tray and then roasting them. I think they turn out a little bit better if you dehydrate them first. And they dehydrate quickly in 2 to 3 hours. Actually 1 to 2 hours, they dehydrate pretty quickly. So, and after you dehydrate them, then you can mix a little olive oil and a salt and pepper, whatever seasoning you want, and then roast them in the oven, and they just turn out crisper and crunchier, which is what I like. I find if I just go straight to gourd to roasting them in the oven, I keep pointing this way, I love the oven, but they don't crisp up enough. They're good, but they're just not as crispy as I like. So that's what you need for ingredients. It's just pumpkin. Tools. You need a dehydrator. You can dehydrate in the oven, more on that in a bit. I'm gonna try something I've never done, which is using a mixer to just mix all of the goop out after you cut open your pumpkin. And you need a spoon to scoop out the seeds, and apparently using a mixer gets all the strings out a little bit easier, and hopefully it won't suck up, the strings won't suck up into my mixer and then I have a problem. We're gonna see how that works. It'll be an adventure for all of us. Anyway, so those are the tools that you need. It's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. And so let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm gonna do, cut this open and get to scooping. Got the pumpkin carved open, so now I'm gonna give this a whirl and see if it works. Yes, it does. It actually works really well. It does a good job of moving the strings out of the way, and then look at the seeds. The seeds just come right out. This is a great hack. This little trick worked very well. I will use it again. And it wasn't difficult to get this stuff off, so just keep that in mind. But it made it really, really easy for me to scoop out the pumpkin seeds from here. So, and it looks pretty good on the inside. The downside to it is that you have to cut a pretty big hole in there so that the mixer can fit in there. So that's the downside to it. But anyway, if you just want the pumpkin seeds out, and a quick way to do it, cut a big hole and use your mixer. And now I'm just gonna use these trays here, and I'm gonna use 2 different trays to see which one I like best. Here's the mesh one, and we're just throwing these out on here. I am gonna scoop out some of this, some of the 20 orangey stuff and chuck that in the sink. But just spreading out the seeds as evenly as possible. Got all my trays in the dehydrator. I've set the temperature to 120. It's a real rainy day here, so the humidity is higher where I'm at. So it's you want to set it between 115 to 120 degrees. So that's why I'm doing it at 120. And I'm gonna set the timer for an hour and check it. But we're gonna dehydrate for 1 to 2 hours. I'm gonna check the seeds now, see how they're doing. Ooh, these are great. They're in great condition. They've dried very well. There's a crispness to them too. I got the pumpkin seeds in the bowl here, and I'm gonna drizzle them with just a little bit of olive oil. Kind of coat it. That's probably 1 to 1.5 tablespoons for 1 whole pumpkin. And then giving this a quick stir, sprinkled in a little bit of salt too. I think we'll do a little bit more salt. So that was about a teaspoon of salt. Obviously you can add more or less to taste. And then onto a cookie sheet. And now I'm gonna pop these in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes at 250 degrees to give them a roast and crisp them up even more. And we are done. These are very good, very good. And I like them better than just taking them out of the pumpkin and putting them in the oven. They're nice and crispy and crunchy. I think taking them straight from the pumpkin and putting them in the oven, for me, they've always kind of ended up a little bit soggy and a little bit smushy. But doing the dehydration for an hour or two beforehand, that's just, it's fantastic. These are really, really good. Very, very tasty. So I am, this is a gold star recipe. Now, again, you can just take them straight from the pumpkin and put them in the oven, but like I said, the dehydrator does work really well. And you can dehydrate in an oven. You just have to prop the door open and make sure you have a thermometer in the oven that you're at 115 to 120 degrees. My oven, the lowest it goes is 170, so that's too hot. So just to get them dried out, and that's the key, is to get them dried out. So very successful. The recipe and information is down below in the show notes. And while you're down there, please hit like and subscribe because that does help. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, concerns, by all means, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook at Stacey Can. You can add me on Instagram and TikTok at Stacey Can. My website is www.staceycancan.com. My email is info@staceycancan.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn at Stacey Can. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, happy canning and happy holidays.